Young Emeka from Owerri refused to go to school. In fact, this stubborn boy went to a powerful Babalawo and begged him to transform him into a cow. Emeka thought he would be able to sleep peacefully under the udala tree every day from then on. Unexpectedly, his father, Papa Chidi, arrived at the compound. He saw his cow resting and didn't know what had happened to his son. He then struck the cow with his walking stick. Emeka had turned into a cow without any warning. The boy, now as a cow, mooed desperately at his father, but Papa Chidi could not understand. In the end, Emeka, as a cow, could only help his father carry bundles of firewood back to their village home. He didn't expect that after dropping the firewood, Papa Chidi would immediately harness him to plow the yam field again. Emeka's body, as a cow, did not have much strength. After a short while, he was panting heavily from exhaustion under the scorching Nigerian sun. The boy, as a cow, could not escape his father's beatings when he moved too slowly. After returning home, Papa Chidi felt something was strange about this cow. He told his wife, Mama Chidi, about it. She thought perhaps the cow had worked too hard, so she prepared more grass and cassava peels for it. Emeka, as a cow, looked at the rough fodder. He couldn't stomach it at all. At this moment, the boy felt deeply regretful. Looking at the cow that was crying real tears, Papa and Mama Chidi were very surprised. But the yam field behind their compound was not yet ready for planting, so even if the cow was suffering, it still had to work. Despair in his heart, combined with his exhausted body, made Emeka, as a cow, collapse to the ground. Seeing this made Papa Chidi extremely angry. He beat the cow with a thick stick again. If Mama Chidi, who was pounding yam nearby, hadn't rushed out in time, Emeka would probably have been beaten to death by his father that day. At that moment, his mother noticed foam coming from the cow's mouth. Papa Chidi felt this cow was completely useless. On his way to Onitsha market, the cow became exhausted. Its knees buckled and the cart carrying plantains and palm oil fell backward. Papa Chidi lost many goods and became furious. He decided not to keep this cow anymore and dragged it to the local butcher that very evening. At this moment, Emeka, as a cow, still didn't understand until he saw his father receiving naira notes from 2 Hausa butchers. Immediately, the boy realized what was happening, but it was too late. Emeka could only watch his father take the money and walk away toward the beer parlor. Thinking he was about to die, the boy struggled fiercely. After breaking free from the butchers, he ran after his father through the dusty village paths. But how could an injured cow escape for long? Finally, Emeka caught up with Papa Chidi near the village square. His father didn't understand why the cow had followed him and could only scold it in Igbo. Before he could finish speaking, the butchers started chasing them again. To survive, Emeka, as a cow, ran desperately toward the forest. Even some villagers who had gathered to watch felt pity for the animal. When he saw the butchers getting closer, the terrified cow knocked down a palm tree in its panic. After the butchers were injured by falling palm fruits, Emeka finally got some rest. The boy felt extremely regretful about his foolish choice. It was probably because he stayed up too late playing football with his friends and watching Nollywood films that he often fell asleep in Mr. Okafor's mathematics class. This was why his teacher flogged him with a cane. But after being punished, Emeka still continued his late-night activities. Sometimes he was so sleepy that he nearly fell into the stream while fetching water. Although Papa Chidi tried to counsel him in their native Igbo language, the boy remained stubborn and refused to listen. Finally, Emeka decided to skip school entirely to get proper sleep. That was when he begged the Babalawo to transform him into a cow, thinking he could graze peacefully and sleep under the trees all day. The boy did not know that being a cow was much harder than being a human. If he could choose again, he would surely study hard, stop causing headaches for his parents and teachers, and prepare well for his WAEC examinations. Thinking about this, Emeka burst into tears. But what was urgent now was to escape because the butchers were chasing after him again. The cow ran up the rocky hills of Nsukka, almost completely exhausted. But what he didn't expect was that this path led to a very deep gorge. It was too late to turn back because the butchers had already surrounded him. At this moment, Emeka, as a cow, could lose his life instantly. The butchers were getting closer. Terrified, he could only step backward and fell into the deep chasm. Just at that moment, he thought he would surely die. Suddenly, Emeka woke up under the big Iroko tree in his family compound. He was extremely happy, as if Chukwu had given him a second chance at life. He realized that he had been completely wrong before. After returning home, the boy became completely transformed. He not only helped his parents with farm work and household chores, but also stopped sleeping in class. Even Mr. Okafor was amazed by the change. After school, Emeka did his homework diligently and could finally sleep peacefully at night. Seeing their son's transformation, Papa and Mama Chidi were overjoyed. This boy who received a second chance represents a moral lesson for all young people. In reality, life does not always give everyone an opportunity to start over, just like the hibiscus flower that blooms only once. Don't wait until you're old, sitting under the baobab tree, looking at faded photographs with deep regret. If you cherish your education now, it will be invaluable to your future. So make the most